Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Let's Play Limbus Company, Canto 6. We're at the end. Forced, if things don't get any better, what'll happen to them?
히스클리프 씨를 소멸시키는 데 성공한 마왕 히스클리프는 모든 세계를 넘어다니면서 히스클리프를 소멸시킬 것이며 캐서린의 소환이 성공한다면 그녀 또한 모든 세계를 돌아다니면서 캐서린을 탄생시키겠죠.
To what end?
그 끝엔 이 히스클리프와 캐서린 둘만의 절교가 남지 않을까요?
Huh? There's a sound coming from my device. Catherine. Dante! I see that you write a diary of your own. Oh, they made the Dante's notes relevant at the very end. I wouldn't call it a diary. It's not like I record what happens every day in it here. That counts as a diary still. It is a record of your life. Then I suppose it is. Catherine? Just before the break of dawn, during the quietest hours of the day, I would write my diary, especially on days when I suffered from fevers. I could not bear to keep going without vomiting every fault of mine on a piece of paper. I was always honest with my diary, but it seems that I could never be honest anywhere else. While I hid my true feelings from the ones I loved, while refusing to communicate myself, I became angry at those who couldn't understand me. Heathcliff shall never know. He will never know how much I... Nah, I have to know. Heathcliff? How did you... I needed a lot of courage to get here. Catherine. It's all so easy for you to topple me. For you to ground me up until I'm nothing. I was so happy whenever you came to visit. A single glance from you in my direction could brighten my entire day. You're almost like a calamity. And I have always loved that very calamity that swept over me like the tempest, Catherine. Thank you for having the courage. Finally, our hearts are no longer broken apart. Dante, may I borrow your diary for a moment? The Golden Bough has far more impressive powers than any of us could have ever imagined. What powers? It has been bringing your own wishes to reality, has it not? So, the key to my Heathcliff's happiness is in your diary. So I looked down at the screen of the device. Oh wait, no. So I looked down at the screen of the device I carried. Something I used to think was nothing but a tool for recording things. Golden Bough synchronized. Don't touch start. Oh boy, this is a very interesting. Change account. Clear all Cathy. Right, don't touch start. We need to clear all the Cathy. Clearing all Cathy. Loading.
먼저 말해줘서 고마워, 히스클리프. 나도 모든 세계의 히스클리프가 아닌 지금의 너를 사랑해.
In every world of possibilities that may or may not have been, every Catherine and Heathcliff of all worlds call out to each other, feeling the echoes of their partners. They struggle for one last unseen embrace.
캐시! 어디 있지? 너를 다시 내 품에 안아야겠어. 네가 계속해서 느껴졌어. 내 곁에 맴돌고 있다는 사실을 분명 알고 있었지. 땅 아래에 있는 것이 아니라 이곳 어딘가에 있어. 그렇지. 내가 네 마음을 찢을 게 아니라 네가 네 마음을 찢은 거야. 네 마음을 찢으면서 내 마음까지 찢어놓은 거야.
Millions of worlds made real by Catherine and Heathcliff begin speeding by before us. Every possibility of Heathcliff and Catherine. Most end in tragedy, full of suffering and lamentation. But among the infinity, I catch a glimpse of tranquility. Outside the manor, there are 2 gravestones marking Heathcliff and Catherine's final resting places. And in the desolate, forlorn moorlands of Wuthering Heights are 2 youths who each resemble Heathcliff and Catherine. They gaze deeply into each other's eyes, their mouths drawn into the sweetest, happiest smiles. Right, there's another book reference for you. The hearts connected, despite everything.
저 아이들은 처음부터 모든 걸 정해놓은 채로 보았던 건가?
Earl King Heathcliff's last words are hollow and bittersweet. Its echoes scatter into nothingness. Catherine begins to disappear from every world, as though she was never there. And when every Catherine eventually disappeared, millions of changing possibilities appeared before us. Mr. Earnshaw brings Heathcliff from the back streets. Hindley's scorn and hatred for Heathcliff remained the same. But without Catherine, Heathcliff had no reason to endure the suffering in Wuthering Heights. So he quickly moves on from Wuthering Heights. Each Heathcliff lives a different life, meets all kinds of different people, and lives on without Catherine. Ah, Heathcliff watched as the worlds transformed. Each Heathcliff living a life of his own, and Catherine's existence slowly fading away from him. I would have understood if Heathcliff were to curse me with weeping, cruel words. I would have understood if he were to grab me and shake me by the collars. To erase someone's entire existence is unimaginably terrible. But Heathcliff was watching all of it in silence, as if he wished to carve each and every single one of them into his memory. And
비로소 아무것도 남지 않게 되었구나.
황금 가지를 가지고 가는 거야, 넬리.
Nellie stood atop the railings of the rooftop and gazed down at us. Most sinners had fallen or were unconscious. To be fair, that one final attack! In her hands, she held the golden bough that appeared to have been pried from the rooftop.
하지만 히스클리프, 너는 마음 착한 애니까 이해하지? 내게 거울 조각을 처음 보여준 그 사람에게 이걸 넘겨볼까 해.
Rude!
소용없다는 거 알잖아.
We didn't have to let you live, just a reminder.
너희는 온 힘을 다해 싸워서 쓰러지고 지쳤어. 그때만을 기다린 치프 버틀러를 어떻게 막을 셈이야? 저 시계가 한 바퀴 돌아간 후엔 난 사라져 있을 텐데.
그래, 지금은 너를 막을 수 없겠지. 하지만 되찾을 거야. 황금 가지와 내 개설인을.
개설인? 누구를 말하는 거야? 알아들을 수 없는 소리를 하네. 히스클리프.
Oh, I see. Because we deleted the reason for Heathcliff to have been at Wuthering Heights, she also didn't get very attached to him.
알아. 너와 다른 사람들에겐 이제 기억의 얼룩이 되어버렸다는 거. 하지만 내겐 너무 선명해졌어. 절대 지울 수 없어.
그렇게 간절하다면 되찾는 날이 오길 바랄게. 황금 가지만 있다면 어떤 소망이든 마음이든 이루어진다고 하니까.
All that remained on the rooftop was a burnt golden bough in the coffin.
하얗게 타버렸습니다. 나머지 한 개는 누군가 이미 가져간 듯하군요.
Nellie took the other one, the one that's intact.
그자에게 간 거겠지. 헤르만.
Yeah, Herman's got a lot to answer for.
실패하지 않았어. 되찾을 수 있어. 어긋나도 진심을 다한다면 다시 이어질 수 있으니까. 나와 개설이니 죽은 세계에서조차 그랬던 것처럼.
이 관 속에 들어있는 자의 이름이 캐서린인가요? 죄송해요. 안개가 낀 것처럼 흐릿해져서.
이 관과 관의 주인은 곧바로 LCCA 팀이 수거하여 본부로 전송해 놓을 겁니다.
I wanted to ask him if he was okay, but I already knew the answer. So many things had gone wrong.
여전히 괜찮지 않아.
Heathcliff's one and only goal was gone. But Heathcliff was no longer trapped in a living dream. Perhaps that's precisely why he could open the door to see a new, wider world. Not a single colour remained in the silent, withering heights once the tempest passed. All monochromatic, save for patches of colour.
저 꽃의 이름은 히스라고 해. 황야에서 고독하게 피어나지만 폭풍에도 끈질기게 살아남아서 기다리지.
Wait for what?
몰라. 그냥 시간을.
That is when Heathcliff finally told us the name of the flowers. Now there's an interesting time, isn't it? They didn't give us the Kanto dungeon, but they gave us just about everything else. I have to wonder if that means that we're never going to see the Bound King abnormality, or the Electric Dreaming Sheep, or Portrait of Bygone Days, or if that means that they're going to show up in the Refraction Railway when they update it to the level 45 standard. That's certainly an option. Anyhow, yeah, I feel like when all is said and done, even though by the end they stopped giving us the advantage with the with Heathcliff's ego, when he stopped gaining bereavement that reduced his SP so much, even then Sunshao Heathcliff was still pretty decent. Granted, I feel like I should have probably swapped over to Ufi Heathcliff, because then he'd have been able to keep the SP up, but then again, I don't know, it definitely shows that it still has potential to be a pretty decent ID, even though it has a bit of a problem with the low skill caps. And there were definitely a lot of things that weren't kind to him, because he kept getting targeted only by alternate Heathcliff, which is bad, because alternate Heathcliff would beat most of his attacks. So we had to do a lot of babysitting, basically. I do still have a couple of X objectives to clear. I have to get through, but the thing is, I don't feel like I can do better than the sinking team, because you come across so many encounters where they refuse to let you reduce their SP, so once they reach 45 SP, you're on a slow incline backwards. Because anytime you use an ego, you stop having guaranteed clash wins, and so you have to either keep spamming ego until you run out, or just deal with the fact this sinner might fail to win the clash and get the SP back that they needed. I don't know, I still might have to do some looking about, probably do a lot of level grinding in the experience excavation so we can boost everyone up. So we have a tiny bit of an offense level advantage, but even so, I think I did pretty well. We didn't outright fail. We had a lot of fatalities, but we didn't outright fail. So I would say that, compared with the previous Kanto, That one had extreme difficulty spikes, but for the most part it's a relatively easy time. This one was a pretty harsh time the whole time, but nothing quite matched the type of oof.
쫓아가! 아니 저기로 사라졌잖아. 어딜 보는 거야?
그걸 진작에 말씀해 주셨어야죠.
Another day, another distortion hunting in the streets of T-Core, as per LCD's orders. Looks like it didn't take too long for Heathcliff to be his usual energetic self once again.
야, 뒤질래? 이쪽으로 넘기라니까!
Maybe he's gotten too passionate. Long time no... Wait, why... How do you still have colour?
빛이 내게 아직 닿지 못한 거야.
Hello, Damien. His scarf is blue, but the rest of him looks a bit monochrome. I forget whether that's how he's supposed to look all the time, though.
별은 아주 까마득하게 있으니까. 단테, 당신도 꽃을 좋아해?
I think I've come to like them.
당신이 정성스럽게 보살피고 있는 장미 한 송이가 있었어. 당신의 방은 그 꽃이 풍기는 향기로 가득 채워져 있지. 그러나 어느 날 당신은 긴 여행을 떠나 그 장미를 내버려 둔 채로 그곳에서 큰 정원에 도달하게 되고 당신이 보살폈던 것과 똑같은 장미가 수천 송이가 피어있는 걸 보았어. 그걸 본 당신은 울음이 차올라서 바닥에 주저앉고 말았지. 이유가 무엇일 것 같아?
Damien. He's appeared before me in the past. He would always leave me with these cryptic riddles. But I'm starting to understand what his riddles are supposed to represent. Because I've finally come to understand that the one I truly loved was the rose I'd left behind.
맞아. 세상엔 수천 송이의 장미꽃들이 있어도 나의 장미꽃은 단 하나야. 당신이 물을 주고 가꿔주고 가시에 찔려서 가끔 아파하긴 해도 당신의 보살핌으로 인해서 향기가 나는 그 꽃 말이야. 히스클리프와 캐서린에게도 그러지 않았을까? 어느 세계에서도 여러 캐서린과 히스클리프가 있다는 것을 알아도 그 어디에나 있을 히스클리프와 캐서린이 행복하길 바라기보다 눈앞의 서로가 특별하고 소중하다고 생각했으니까. 하지만 대부분의 사람들은 어리석어서 그걸 깨닫기까지는 정말 오랜 시간이 필요할 거야. 알겠어? 눈앞에 있는 나의 꽃을 사랑하는 방법을 알기만 한다면 그 순간부터 더 이상 수천 송이의 장미꽃들은 지킬 필요가 없는 거야. 이별 사람들은 자신의 정원만을 꾸미기 위해 장미꽃 수천 송이를 가꾸면서도 정작 자신이 원하는 것은 찾지 못하더라고.
But what of the other flowers that's already bloomed? What happens to them? Damien smiled at my question.
그건 당신이 내게 양을 그려줄 수 있을 때, 그때 스스로 찾게 될 답일 거야.
With that, Damien disappeared. I hear the faint cry of a distant lamb.
보고 계시는군요, 마님. 칭찬 감사합니다. 불청객들을 남김없이 모조리 처리했습니다.
Oh wow, we very nearly got our level up from that. So let's see. Wuthering Heights Utis, 57 damage, 12,500. 12,000. Wait, 1,251. 62 damage taken, 1,200 damage dealt. Sunshower Heathcliff! He took a lot of punishment, didn't he? Efflorescent Spicebush Ye sang. 92 damage taken, 11,049. Dicey South Section Rhodian 11, 18, 72. Mola Boatworks Ishmael. She may have been the least she might have contributed the least, but her evades still got us through that in such a good time, so... yeah. Until next time, guys. Take care. I'll see you all around.